fat kitty. There was a real fat kitty back there. I missed it. He's going to the storage unit right there. I mean, he was fat. He could barely drag himself across the road. I called him Brandon Fraser. I'm sorry, Charlie. Of course, Brandon Fraser had a fat suit. We know he's losing weight. By the way, I got a joke about Brandon Fraser. You want to hear? Okay, here's my joke. Ready? Brandon Fraser. That's my joke. That's it. Do you like it? It's not a fat joke. No, I'm joking. Brandon Fraser, talk of the town, Mr. Oscar award-winning actor that's about to get... No, I didn't even get the chance to look... Oh, you're probably wondering why. I have not even got a chance to look at all the Oscar award-winning actors. Speaking of Gary Oldman, I don't know if he's going to be nominated this year, of course. He may only leave this place with just one, but all you need is just one, right? I can get him another one, possibly, for Gerald Oldman III, depending on if he's brave enough to play the werewolf hunter. Warning, watch for flash flooding. Now remember, it takes place in a suburban area, but it's kind of a farm community. I'm talking about Grace, the werewolf movie. But that was my joke. You just say Brendan Fraser and everyone's like, what? No, because he played a wonderful role, Charlie. I didn't get to see it. We were going to see it the other weekend. I wanted to see it. I'm sure it's going to be good, but we know he won. It's like my uncle, Uncle John. He's a libertarian, or he's the head of the Libertarian Party. He's very funny. But on Facebook, when I used to read his stuff, he put down something like, I think he was responding to a post that I made, and we were talking about like why, what is the reason why Oscar, why the actors win. And we were talking about the lineup, and he goes, he starts the whole comment with, even though, it's worthy for even though it's important, or it makes a big impact if the actor either loses weight, an extreme amount of weight, or he gains an extreme amount of weight, blah, 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 regardless of the performance, Usually it's going to be someone that loses a tremendous amount of weight or gains a tremendous amount of weight, and that gets the actor the Academy Award. But that's how he started the little comment, which I thought was funny. Sorry about that, Brandon Fraser. No, we know the performance is good. I saw a clip of it and I was blown away. I thought Brandon Fraser was good in Gods and Monsters with Sir Ian McKellen, another guy I met. I haven't met, of course, Brandon Fraser, but he's a lot of fun, lots of energy. This one looks like a seriously good movie. And like Darren Aronofsky, he gets those Oscar awards for those actors. Woody Allen used to be the guy back in the day. If you were in a Woody Allen film, it was a good chance that you were going to qualify. But, qualify for a possible Oscar. But Darren Aronofsky is doing it nowadays, If you're in a Darren Aronofsky movie, woo. Especially if you have to gain weight for it, Gaining weight. Golly, man, Well, at least they, my thing about this is at least they got the fat suit on him, There was a stopping point, where it's like, okay, that's enough, But, De Niro knows all about this. De Niro was the first to really coin it with Jake LaMotta in Raging Bull. He was the first to really go out there and do that, regardless of the brilliance of Gary Oldman. It's like if Gary Oldman walked up to De Niro, try acting, dear boy. Laurence Olivier walking up to Dustin Hoffman, try acting, dear boy. Although he wouldn't call De Niro dear boy, because, he wouldn't. But I don't. They did work together. I'm pretty sure. I'll have to do my research. I'm probably sure they did. Have to find out. The story of Mexican Inn Cafe is long time ago, back in the days of colonial times, or way back. We'll say mid 1800s or whatever. When you come to this area, you were met by this guy that had a donkey, and he'd lead you into the Fort Worth to what's known as the Mexican Inn Cafe. That's what I heard. I don't know if it was true or not. I still go by that. I go by that story, regardless of the real story. And he had his little Mexican donkey. And this is the actual Mexican Inn Cafe right here. It really is. Here, look at this. Here's some of the actions going on. This is a great mural right here. There it is. There's the donkey. Follow me to the Mexican Inn Cafe. And that's the actual donkey. That is the donkey. It really has to do with gambling and a bunch of other stuff, but I like the story I tell. That's the famous donkey. My story's better. I like it better. Nah, I had to do with this famous donkey, and there were gamblers and all this other stuff. It's a great story. I'm sure Bobby Skez knows. So that's probably the guy that was involved in the gambling. The donkey was paraded around town as a prize donkey. No, there's a photo of it. But anyway, they had some kind of gambling ring going on upstairs. And it had something to do with a donkey. Pretty sure that's the dude. It'd make a great story. Here's a shot of it downtown. It's probably a story to get funding too. I got a kids menu. Alright, talk to this dude. He doesn't know much about the legend. It starts in 1920. Yeah, he was a skilled gambler. All right, yeah. Let's see here. He's a quiet man. All right, this is on their menu. In 1936, Tiffin, the gambler, entered the world of legitimate business when his first Mexican cafe opened. Okay. I see. So he went legit and opened this place. Is what it's saying. 50 years old. ...1930s restaurant. It goes back to the 20s. Here's something here. Cost of $25. It's pretty interesting. Star Telegram did it. It's pretty cool. There's the last part of it right here. There's a PS right here. The last PS part talks about this right here. There's now a little more to our history. In 1980, local businessman Chris Carroll purchased The restaurant. The estate of Tiffin Hall. Oh, there was Spring Creek, so now they hooked up with Spring Creek barbecue. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool story. It's right there. It's right there on their it's on their menu, on the back of it. The steak and that's Tiffin, the guy that they're talking about. So he got in trouble. Started this whole thing in the 20s, and he was known to be a big gambler. The government tried to indict him, and they couldn't get anything on him. They released him, and he went ahead and went legit and opened Mexican Inn and did very well. Became kind of famous. The donkey thing was there for advertisement. It advertised the Mexican Inn. But in the 50s, or actually in the 60s, he sold the place to another buyer who later on in the 80s, I believe, joined with Spring Creek. Eventually it joined with Spring Creek Barbecue. So that's how it all started. Supposedly a big gambler, but they don't know for sure. They didn't prove anything. So. A room called Tiffin Hall Room. That's based on him right there. This is pretty crazy. Anyway, it's a cool story. Yeah, so they tried to indict him for gambling. They couldn't get anything on him. And so he just paraded his donkey around, this little donkey, follow me, to the Mexican Inn, and ended up selling it in the 60s. It's doing very well today. So it's this whole thing started back in the 20s. It's amazing. These are $60. It's like a family style fajitas right here. Pretty good, pretty cool thing. I'm glad he was able to successfully do the Mexican Inn. Pretty cool. Possibly maybe this one. Oh, this is going to probably make a I don't know if this is rumor, but I found out that Pirates of the Caribbean, Pirates of the Caribbean got about 379, or they spent $379 million on it. So Killers of the Flower Moon, when I saw it on Wikipedia, the budget was $600 million. So that's the reason why I had made some comments, because Pirates deals with ships. It's got sailing. I'm not, I look forward to seeing it. I don't know for sure if I'm gonna get Apple TV, because that's time consuming, to watch Apple TV. It'll be in Redbox. It'll make Redbox, but I will rent it from Redbox and watch it. But I don't even think Star Wars is in even the ballpark of 600 billion. That's what I was kind of laughing about when I heard about it, is that this is a drama based on real experiences, you know, that could be made with maybe $20 million. So I can't wait to see this meeting that Scorsese has and talks about why 600 million. That's an incredible amount of money. Pirates, 2011. Okay, 2011, Pirates of the Caribbean, 375 million. What are they doing in Killers of the Flower Moon? Are they flying around in flying saucers or something? I'm sure they're not. They could. It's not Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It's set in Oklahoma. It's set on a reservation. What in the world? Please, someone send me a comment to answer that question. I'm gonna look it up again on Wikipedia, because maybe I'm not looking at it right. It's just, I can just hear the opening part of Goodfellas and the narrative with rest in peace, Ray Liotta. The very opening goes back to, you know, substitute that with Scorsese saying, I've always wanted to make a movie. $600 million. That's all I wanted. Make a movie with $600 million. That's a lot of money. Anyway, we'll have to see. I get mad. The reason I get mad is if a film director gets $1 million to make a movie. That's a huge blessing, you know? $100,000. How about $1,000 to make a movie, you know? I don't know. But I'm gonna look at Wikipedia. There's the new lighting that they have in Fort Worth, right down that way. It's a purple topping on the building right there. They get taxed right off for having those colored stuff, because it makes the city more colorful, so they reward the businesses that do that. Dallas has a lot of it, and they're starting to make it more colorful. You can see the purple right there, way in the distance. I was wrong. I misread it. 200 million. They got 200 million. That's not, okay. That's not that bad. I misread it. I don't know where I got that information. If someone was messing around on Wikipedia or what. They didn't get 600 million for it. They got 200 million. I don't know where I read it. It was probably false information. They got $200 million for Killers of the Flower Moon. I can see that, maybe. I'm not so mad now. Sorry about that. I apologize. I thought they got 600 million to make it, but they got 200 million. I don't know where I read that. These glasses. Now I feel bad. Imagine if I was at the actor studio. Like, Scorsese, what are you doing with $600 million to make a drama? They only need $20 million to make Copland. And then then Scorsese, well, I tried to make you a director, and you failed. You blew it. That's De Niro line. I tried to make you a cop, and you blew it. You blew it. He's eating a sandwich. No, it's 200 million still a lot for a drama, though. I have to make 200 million is a lot for a drama. 200 million, but that's okay. 600. I thought it was 600 million. I was wrong about that. I apologize. Sorry for the wrong information. Sorry about that. I was probably doing that to get some views, which I don't know. And we're gonna look at the skyline of Fort Worth. I see, $200 billion. They went in there and changed that on Wikipedia. I think that was a joke. It's $200 billion for Killer of the Flower Moon. Okay, that's better. I was thinking 600 million. 200 million. 200 million still a ridiculous amount. Still a whole lot. But between the all-star cast and stuff, they'd run out of that really quick. What Leo's going for, what, 25 million? De Niro at least probably 30. There's a big chunk of it right there. De Niro and Leo. I know there's a few other stars too. There's a cool little bridge right here. Forget about the money, who cares? Heck, I'd take $1 million. My friend who went to AFI, he was the youngest film director to ever go to AFI. He only like, I think his net worth is only like $1 million. That's chump change. It's still good though. Drake, whenever he did Like Crazy, a few other dramas. I know it'll turn around for him eventually. He'll get to do something worthwhile eventually. Well, I don't even know how much he operated on his sci-fi film. It probably wasn't really that much. He was using, I think he used, I can't even think of that actor that he uses. I know he used Anton for like crazy, and Anton's not with us anymore. Rest in peace. I'm trying to show you the skyline of Fort Worth with commentary about Hollywood. Yeah, it's still a lot though. I mean, even if a film director makes $1 million, you know, that's still a great amount. We talk about $2,000, you know, $7,000 to make a movie, you know, like, I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna try to figure out this Indiegogo thing, see what I can raise. I know I gotta launch that. I gotta figure out how to launch it. There's some kind of tag. I think you have to do it all in one thing, so you have to sign up for it and then launch the project. I did save and post it on Facebook. I posted it's kind of like a premise for Indiegogo. It's kind of what you give to the producers so they know what they're dealing with. And this one is basically requesting enough to get Gary Oldman on board. I requested 10 million, so to see if that would get him on board and see if that would at least raise their eyebrows. But you'd have to get the funding from different sources, so it could be they could dump the money in there. And then I'd have to probably have a meeting with Oldman. I don't know if I'm gonna fly. I might feel okay flying to the UK, or if it could be the other way around, or if we could do like a Zoom meeting or some kind of, you know, maybe I don't know, Google meeting or something, and I could have an interview, you know, or say, you know, well, this is what I have now. I can give you what I have now on the script, and then see what you know, and I can give him notes too, because I have a lot of notes that I'm working on. Because the script could take me a long time, because I've got a tremendous amount of work to do. But if I get it in advance or something like that, I could probably whip it together in a good 3 months, you know, of polishing and just drilling the scenes and stuff. So there's a good chance. But Indiegogo is a good way. I learned that from Grim Life. So it's a good way to get started. I'm about to pass Firestone. Yeah, Indiegogo is a very good way, because at least they get all the information on it, like exactly what you're doing, kind of. We'll have to see. You know, it's amazing how vlogging can aid in writing too. It used to be all digital tape recording. You would just sit there and it was all words. But you're looking through a device that you go back and study. So somewhere in there, I think the story's ongoing. You know, I remember hearing a director had said that the story is ongoing. So what that means is the story is everywhere. You know, even if you're doing a sci-fi, they kind of showed that a little bit in Shakespeare in Love. If you watch Shakespeare in Love with Joe Fiennes, he gets the story by going around town and hearing it from, you know, from this guy, from the town crier, and maybe the guy that's tending the bar, and maybe Charles Marlowe, you know, and some wench lady and some other lady and a beautiful maiden and all this stuff. He gets all of that from looking around and listening. You know, taking the story in. So that's what I mean by it's ongoing. Restore to me the joy of our salvation, which goes into Psalms 51:12. That's what David wrote, the one that took on Goliath. David and Goliath, a great story indeed. He takes on Goliath. And what is Goliath in our life? The giants. He was sent out because he was a shepherd. He was good at doing what he could do. But who knows, he was like a farmer. So he was just like this little peasant farmer guy. But man, he was good with the sling. It might work. We put a stone in the sling. And then he becomes king and he has to write all this poetry that we read now, which is Psalms. Well, it's Psalms. It's what it is, you know. It's in the Bible. It's more than poetry. It's the Word of God, which God worked through him to write. Psalms. All right.